find the damn picture. I was ready. I was mentally ready.
Okay, go.
Okay. Hola, mi gente. Welcome.
Take a breather. Here, finish your wine.
That's the problem.
Oh my god.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hola, mi gente. Welcome with.
You're trying to rush it.
I'm getting tongue-tied. Okay, espérate.
Breathe.
Hold on. Let me namaste. Give me a second.
Thank you.
Woo. Okay. Hola, mi gente. Welcome.
Chats con sabor.
Yo sé que chats con sabor, pero no me sale. Okay.
Welcome to.
Okay, let's do it again. Take 20.
Okay.
Hola, mi gente. Welcome to Chats con Sabor. Me salió una parte, pero no la otra.
We're getting there. We're getting
Let's do it again. Okay. 21. Take 21. Hola, mi gente. Welcome with. Welcome with. Not welcome to. Welcome with. One more time. Hola, mi gente. Welcome to Chats con Sabor. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Linda and Yvette. And today, how are you ladies doing? It only took 20 times for me to get to this point. Carry on. How are you guys this day? How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. I want to let the audience know that we did a little photo shoot today. Pictures might come out before this episode actually does, but that's okay. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fun night.
It really has. It's been some busy couple of weeks.
Birthdays.
We were both Saggies over here,
Mhm.
Joanna and I. So I feel like it's been a nonstop celebrating for both of us. My sister's birthday's coming up, so more celebrating for me.
Mhm.
Busy.
But I'm good. I'm happy. I'm excited, right? Usually the Saggy that I am, I'm looking for entertainment. I'm looking for fun. I'm looking for my life to be eventful. And now that it's eventful, I'm like, I'm done for it to be eventful. I'm over it. I'm like, okay, that was enough.
You're ready for the break. Now you're ready to hibernate.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Winter solstice is coming up, so after that we should be hibernating anyway. So on the 22nd. So after the 22nd, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yvette's leaving us for 2 weeks anyway, so.
I am. We're recording this during the holidays or right before the holidays is when we're recording this. But yeah, it won't. You guys won't hear this until sometime in January, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So continue laughing with us.
Yeah, which I think it's perfect timing because we're going to be talking about traveling, right? So 2025, many people, those planners, I'm not a planner, but a lot of people like to plan, right? That there's summer vacation, winter vacation, spring break, fall break, it doesn't matter. Whenever you have the money or the time, because work is work. Work be working,
Working too much.
Yeah. So it'll be a good talk for January for people that are getting ready to plan their year and really realize and figure out what they want to do for travels. Do you guys like to travel?
I love to travel. If I could travel most of the year, I would. My goal in life is to be wealthy enough and financially stable enough to be able to live 3 months here and 3 months over there.
That's a
6
dream.
months over there,
Mm-hmm.
and have different places or do Airbnbs. I don't know, but I follow people on Instagram where they live that lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
They're constantly going from place to place and they're digital nomads. So it's actually possible to do.
It is.
So
it is.
I definitely love to travel. What about you?
I like to travel. I do. When I want to travel. It's like it's one of those things that I'm a bit of a homebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny because I don't know if it's the age thing, but Linda loves to like everything that's exciting. I love everything a little bit more calm. I love having my time with you girls and doing my thing, but I also like my alone time and being home and doing what I need to do. But I do like to travel. And Linda and I were talking about this earlier, even doing stuff here in the, in the United States, just traveling on our motorcycles or, just going to visit. Like we went to Montana one year and stuff like that. I love doing that. My dream is to go to Ireland or Scotland. And Scotland, actually both.
Yeah.
Those are my two dream places to go.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Yeah, I think, not to get all astrological, but that's your Virgo moon, girl. We like our alone time big time. People try to pull me out of my place, and I just want to be alone sometimes, and I love to hibernate. So
You see, but I love to sleep, honestly, but I don't know if in the last couple of years with like my anxious personality, staying home and not moving is not and not having anything to do. If I'm not tired, then why am I laying at home? It gives me anxiety to not have something to do, I guess, when I'm not tired. If I'm tired, I'm gonna hibernate 100%, right? But I think to me, my alone time now is, you guys know I love hiking, right? And I feel like I almost died a year ago. Well, because I decided to go on a hike at 6 o'clock in the morning, pitch black, by myself, because I wanted to see the sunrise. Yeah. Because that's who I am. What is it with you, without you? I'm that type of person. If I want to do something, if I have people that want to go with me, then great. But if they don't, that's okay. I'm going to do it anyways, and that's who I am. So I wanted to see the sunrise at Indian Seats, but it was a little risky in my behalf because I've never done that hike. And then I'm doing it pitch black because I want to see the sunrise. And, obviously I'm in the woods, so I'm hearing sounds and I'm walking and then I got lost in the trail.
Oh, Jesus.
But,
yeah, no, thank you.
But I drive up to the lake and park and then watch the sunrise. I love
Same
nature,
here.
but I love looking at nature.
Yeah. So when you guys talk about because I am naturally an introvert. You give me some liquid courage. I'm with my people, then all of a sudden I'm an extrovert, right? But naturally, because I'm an introvert, I want to do things that does not involve me around people. And that's why I find a lot of love for nature, and we ground ourselves as well and all that stuff. So that's where I find my alone time, not necessarily in my home, but in nature.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So now I'm like, I think I consider myself now more of an I think it's called ambivert. Don't quote me on the word, but anyway, which means that you're like half and half. You're totally introverted, but then with the right people or in the right setting, you're very extroverted.
I'm the same way.
So yeah, I think we're all kind of similar in that sense, and maybe that's why we get along so well.
Probably. We have become our own safe space.
Yeah, for sure. So, question for you ladies. What was the last trip that you took and your best memory from that trip?
Okay. My last trip, it was to Canada. I went to visit my brother in Canada. My best memory, oh my. I'll say two different memories. I hadn't seen my brother already for 2 years, right? I saw him in Mexico when I went to his wedding. And prior to that trip to Mexico, it had been almost 10 years that I had not seen my brother. So to me, the big picture memory is I got to bond with my brother. And we actually got to talk about our childhoods, because he's 4 years older than me. He's a boy, I'm a girl. This different things that I struggle with by myself, because my last couple of years in Venezuela that I lived with my brother, he was a teenager. So he was 16, 17, and I was 13, right? So he was already graduating high school, and I was like the annoying little sister. That's basically what it was. So our relationship wasn't really there because we weren't two complete different stages in life. I was in middle school, he was graduating high school. So the bond wasn't there. However, when I went to Canada, I'd never been to Canada before. So he showed me around. We spoke about our childhood, our parents, where life has taken us in all these years. Going through my separation. He's on his second marriage. So we're bonding. And that was what really made that trip memorable. Not what we did itself, but me being able to bond with my brother again after so many years of a separation, really. Now, the other memory that I would say that it was fantastic to me, he took me to this, I don't remember the name, but basically it felt like an inside zoo, right? And then they had 4 different ecosystems. So you can go to like the North Pole or like, this cold area, and then they had penguins that had all these different things. And literally they have all this like door after door. Like you literally go to like 3 different doors, and then you walk in and you feel like you're an Eskimo walking into an igloo. And then you walk into this space, and then you see the penguins and all these things. But then you go to another room, and then all of a sudden you're in the Amazons, and it's hot and humid. And so I got to experience 4 different types of ecosystems in the same building, in different rooms, which I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't even have to be outside.
Have you ever been to the Georgia Aquarium?
Yes.
Because it's like that too. I mean, they have a new section where it's like the rainforest, and then they have the cold area where they have the penguins and the beluga whales and stuff like that. And they keep it cool.
They do,
obviously, for them, but
they do. I actually went there after I came from Canada.
Yeah,
because I was talking so much about that. And then my boy, he's like, you know what? I think I gotta take you to, because I had him in.
Yeah,
but it doesn't compare. It's a complete different experience.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was fantastic.
Joe?
Oh my gosh.
Best place you traveled to, and
Lord, there's so many this year. 2024 was pretty good.
Yeah.
For us both.
Yeah.
Went to Savannah. We did Florida. We went to see my best friend. I also went to Virginia. My boyfriend got to meet some of my family members, Nice. So, I mean, I love doing stuff within the U.S., so there's just so many places to go and see and just experience, but I think probably one of my favorite was when we went to Florida, when we went to visit Tammy in Tampa. Well, she lives in St. Pete's, but we got to go restaurant hopping, to the beach, to like, we just did so much stuff, so we got to experience the markets there, and just, I mean, it was a beautiful time. We got to bond. You got to bond with my bestie, so it was really cool.
She's awesome, Tammy. Hi, Tammy.
So I think that was a pretty cool thing for us to do. So I mean, there's other things. I think the Virginia trip was good too, because Kevin got to see a little bit more of my side of the family,
Yeah.
So you got to see how loud we are, how we share things, how the Spanglish comes rolling out. And he got to know a little bit more of me, and how I grew up a little bit with, with my cousin / sister and her husband. And we got to go to the Marine Museum. And I mean, I think this year was just a total blast with all the different things that we did.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So yeah, my latest trip was to California, watching my daughter graduate high school, my youngest. She's about to be 19 in January. And then went to Vegas with my best friend, and she surprised me with a bunch of my cousins from all over, actually, from California, from El Paso too.
From here?
Oh yeah, my cousin from here too, and her husband. Yeah. True. Yes, you're right. You're right.
It literally from all over.
How can I forget? Because that was the first surprise. Everybody kept surprising me like day after day. We were there for like 4 days, and I just had different people surprising me different days, and she was the first one. Yeah. So that was fun. They were helping me celebrate early my 50th birthday, and then my mom came down here for my actual birthday in August. So I didn't travel anywhere, but we
had a blast.
That was fun. So yeah, I think though that from my California trip, I think the best memory was actually my daughter graduating, because that made me an actual real empty nester. That's my baby, final child, no more schooling, I mean, regular school, they're in college and stuff, but yeah, so I think that was kind of like you have those life moments, so they're pivotal moments that actually that time is changing, things are not going to
Evolving.
be the same, they're evolving, your life is you're kind of shutting the chapter on an old life or part of your life, and you're just kind of opening the door to a new one. And that for me it was really really cool. So I do plan on traveling a lot in 2025. I have several trips that I want to take. um we want to go on a cruise, we want to go visit Kevin in Alaska.
We want to go to Puerto Rico.
That's right.
Holy moly.
My son, he's turning 30, so I'm going to Oregon to go hang out with him, and it's his birthday in April. And then we want to go to Greece. We want to go on a cruise, Mediterranean cruise. We want to go back to Italy. We want to do Scotland. We want to do Ireland. I'm not saying all of that's going to happen in 2025, but as I mentioned, that would be my dream, is to go to different places and stay, months at a time and go.
Well,
Put it out in the universe.
Yeah, I will say this. This is Linda here talking, that is young and has many years of work in front of her. But I've always said that my, working quote unquote dream retirement, I always said I want to learn how to drive like an 18-wheeler and become like a trucker for like 3 months out of the year. And then that will be enough for me to live, because it'll be just me and my partner, right? Okay, then let's go drive together, take turns driving, whatnot, for 3 months out of the year. And then the rest of the year, then we get to travel. We get to do this. That's literally just so the cushion of savings doesn't disappear. It's the way that I see it.
Yeah.
That's quote unquote my dream retirement, even though that's not really retiring, right? But I will say, because Joanna mentioned her, dream destination, and mine is Switzerland. And I think in the previous post, I mentioned that when I lived in Puerto Rico, my roommate, she was from Switzerland. There's something about Switzerland, right? The mountains. Again, I mentioned earlier, I love to hike. I would love to go see just the landscape and the
the lush green. Yeah. So I've only ever been to Zurich airport, the airport, and I'm trying to remember which trip it was. I think it was when I went to Spain. I was traveling back home from Spain. And let me tell you something. The people there at the airport, blonde, blue-eyed, super nice. The people were just super, super nice. I mean, it's not the same in Frankfurt. I've been to the Frankfurt airport in Germany, and that is not the same. Those people are not nice. Germans are not nice, not to foreigners anyway, What I mean? But
well, let me tell you, now that you said that, that was my experience when I went to Canada. Well, I went to Montreal, let me specify. And first of all, given the fact that we're bilingual, right? It's the first time in many years that I had to go somewhere where I don't speak the language, right? I took French in college. I have been doing French in Duolingo for the longest. So I'm thinking I'm ready for this trip. I get to the airport and everybody's speaking in French. And I'm reading the signs because they're French and English, so I can follow the signs a little bit. And eventually I realized what exit was in French. And I'm like, okay, I can follow that word. And I'm coming around. And then I got to this place because something that was surprising to me, even me traveling, to Mexico or whatnot, I had not experienced that here in the States. Over there, they have computers, and you scan your own passport. You're basically doing your own TSA.
Yeah, that's how it was in Amsterdam too. That's so weird.
It was so weird to me. Anyways, but they have a separation between locals and foreigners. But so I approached this lady. I'm like, I'm confused. At some point, I lost track of what I'm reading. I'm reading the room. I feel like this is what's happening, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So I approached this TSA lady, and I'm like, hey, I'm speaking English. Hey, how are you? Completely ignores me. And then she's speaking French and pointing with her fingers. All of a sudden, I goes, hola, ¿a dónde tengo que ir? And she spoke to me in Spanish.
Shut the front door.
She goes, allá. And I'm like, what? Okay, so English is not the language here. I have to speak Spanish.
Wow.
And then, speaking with my brother, that he's a local there, I understood that there's a little bit of animosity with the English-speaking people. It goes way back to when the English, not, and it has nothing to do with American. It has to be with English going over there, and then war and colonization.
The same thing as what they did here too. I mean,
but over there, they're, in my opinion, they're very resentful. To that, because even their how some license plates here said "In God We Trust" or "Peach State" or whatnot. In Canada, well, in Montreal, it says "We'll never forget." Ooh. That's their saying.
They hold grudges.
They hold them grudges. I was mind blown. I couldn't believe that. I have a question for you, ladies. How do you ladies like to pack? Hey, are you the kind that has to pack for every occasion? Or can you do a little backpack? For example, I'm going to do a quick made-up scenario. All right, lady, next month we're going to Orlando. And we're just going to go for the weekend. We have Tammy's birthday is coming up. Again, fake scenario. We're going to Orlando. It's Tammy's birthday. We want to celebrate her. We're going to get there Friday afternoon, and we're going to come back Sunday afternoon.
I have a question. Can we go to Tampa instead of Orlando? I've been to both, and I like Tampa better.
We're going somewhere in Florida, okay?
So, what are the essentials?
Exactly. I was gonna, and it's a weekend trip. Again, we're gonna get there Friday afternoon. Let's say Friday at 3, and we're gonna jump on the flight back at 4 in the afternoon on Sunday.
Okay.
So it's literally a weekend trip.
So literally 2 full days.
Correct.
48 hours.
48 hours. Are you taking a carry-on? Are you taking a book bag? Are you taking a maleta?
I'm taking a carry-on.
Okay.
And I am...
How many outfits?
I'm packing for 4 days. We might be going for 2, but I'm packing for 4 days.
Okay.
Left to my own heart.
I'm just letting you know, because you don't know what you're going to be doing when you get there. So
you need at least 2 bathing suits, right?
Yes, yes. I agree with all of that. But I, Linda, I can fit all of that in a book bag.
In a book bag?
What is that called? In a personal bag? What is that they call it in the airport? And they make sure in the little thing in a personal bag.
Like a weekend bag. It's
a weekend bag. I can totally do that. I mean,
I can't because I have to take like my hair products, especially if I'm going to Florida because my hair goes whoop. So I have to take my hair products, my toiletries, things like that. I can't do 3 ounces and less. It's just not,
3 ounces is not enough.
So I'm taking a small
maleta.
No, but you gotta take a luggage because you won't do the products.
Exactly, because of my products.
Because of your products.
So I'll check in a bag, but it's gonna be a small bag. Or whatever, piece of luggage or whatever. But I'm definitely packing for 4 days. Shoes, whatever.
Damn right.
I don't know what we're gonna do. So are we only gonna be at the beach? Are we all, you know what I mean? I would have questions, is what I'm saying. I'm a Virgo. I'm sorry.
Well, here's my thing. I usually don't ask too many questions unless it's a specific event that we're doing. Okay, we're going to Tammy's birthday, so we're gonna take her out for dinner and we're gonna go out dancing. Okay, well, now I know what's happening Saturday night. Okay.
Right.
But other than that, I don't really have to ask too many questions because my mom taught me to pack a todo evento. So you never know what's going to happen. So you got to take something for every occasion that could possibly occur. So we're going to Florida. We might go to the beach or the pool. We might go to the club. We might go dancing. It might just be dinner.
A nice dinner.
It might be
a bar.
It might be a bar. We might be going to somebody's house.
We're definitely going to a bar.
For sure.
So my biggest struggle, I would say, is shoes. I probably just put my skinny plancha flat iron in my book bag, and that's how I'll figure out my hair, either curly or flat iron.
Wild in Florida.
Yeah.
I envy people like that because I am so not like that. I think we had this conversation.
But the shoe situation, it's what drives me crazy because since I have to pack a todo evento, then I have to wear a pair of heels or booties, something with a little, because we might go out dancing. But all I'm trying to say is I am capable. If I want to, I can totally put my life in a book bag for a weekend trip anyways.
God, I wish I could be that way. I can't. Like, okay, so we mentioned, this is the third time I'm mentioning this. I'm preparing to leave, to California for the holidays. And Are
you checking 1 or 2 luggages?
I'm going to try to just take But I might take a bag with me, like a carry-on.
It'll
and
take her
check
2 weeks to pack.
But I'm going for 2 weeks though.
Yes,
And I
yes.
have to, I was talking to my mom yesterday, as a matter of fact, and she was like, "Why can't you just, take some stuff and then just wash?" And I'm like, "Mom, no."
It's
no,
so
no."
funny. I was
I
gonna
mean,
say
yes,
that.
I will wash. I will wash. Don't get me wrong. I will wash, but it's like, but I'm not wearing like one pair of jeans the whole time I'm there. Like, I'm just not gonna do that. And I'm not gonna wear, the same 3 shirts.
Listen, I'm gonna say a crazy comment. Yvette's gonna wash just because she wants to come back with clean clothes and not dirty.
Exactly. That is why I'm gonna wash.
Not because she's gonna rewear something.
They know me so well. They know me so well.
Nailed it.
Oh,
We actually washed our clothes before we came from Florida.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And we drove to Florida.
and we
Okay,
went to Florida.
second question.
We were gone for a week, and I had my medium-sized luggage and a big duffel bag. I took my big duffel bag.
We packed heavy.
Yeah, we
for
did
Florida.
pack heavy
Yeah.
for Florida.
Okay, questions. Follow-up question.
Yeah.
Se me olvidó. Oh my goodness. I can't
Brain
believe
fart, brain
fart. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that.
This is what happens when you drink. And
Yeah,
do a
you got the two
podcast.
maletas. Oh my gosh.
We did. We were happy.
Listen, I have a question for you girls. And
Mhm.
while you remember,
While I come back to my
you come back to that, yeah. Because I know the squirrel will come back.
It
Definitely.
will.
It always does. So my question to you is, what is your dream? And I'm not going to call it a vacation, because I honestly don't like to call traveling vacations, because you want to get to a point in your life where you're not trying to vacate your life, right? So that's why I say my goal is to, quote unquote, live in different places,
Second
right?
language, Linda.
Yeah.
Just realize that that's what a vacation means. You're
Yeah,
trying to vacate your life.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. You're trying to vacate your life. But then here's the thing, and I have a theory about this. Okay, this is why I'm saying I like to use the word travel, and I like to use the word explore. Because when you're using the word vacate, I feel like it adds a lot of pressure. So I don't like to pack. I don't like the travel part of traveling. I don't like all the headaches and everything of being at the airport and flying on a plane and blah, blah, blah. So I fly first class whenever I can, because I like to spoil myself.
Yeah.
But also leaving, and then you're on vacation, but to be on a schedule and shit, and just no. So my best trip was when we were in Amsterdam. My daughter and I went to Amsterdam. She flew from California. I flew from here. And we were there for a month because we were apartment sitting. Now, we were there for a month, and we lived like the locals, walked everywhere. Anyway, we explored the city, but that was the best time because we had nothing planned. We didn't like, oh my God, we got to do A, B, C, D. And on this day, we're doing this, and we got to get up at this. That to me is not a vacation. That's fucking work. You're telling me I got to be at a certain place at a certain time every fucking day. It's too much. It's too fucking much.
I'm surprised
What?
that you, with your Virgo, that you need to know things.
Because that's my everyday life. So if I'm going to do something outside of my everyday life, then I don't want to be on a schedule. My perfect vacations are where I can just do whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want.
I will say this. I mean, as you guys have heard me, I'm the free spirited of the three of us. And I'm all about don't put me in a schedule.
Also, I'm a Saggy moon, so
yes,
that's where I get my travel and my free spirit from.
Even though I don't want a schedule, because I am a fatty, I want to know where I'm eating.
Yeah, I do like to know.
And I'm not gonna say breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but once a day, once in the
We're
day.
Gonna have this fun time during this. Yeah.
Yes, I do want to know that. I do.
agree with that.
Because then I have something to look forward to.
In Florida, we just went on our own and we did whatever.
And you notice, you asked me, what do you want? I'm like, I don't care. Whatever you want. I was like, you tell me what to do. Because in my everyday life, those are the decisions that I need to make. So when I'm on quote unquote vacation, I'm vacating my life, right? My everyday life. I'm going to hand over the reins to whoever. You know what? I'm down. So when I went to Spain and when I went to Italy, we did do, my best friend and I, we did the guided tours. So they planned everything for me. It was perfect.
Yes.
Now, they did tell me, You got to be here. You got to wake up here. I was on a schedule, which that part I didn't really like, but I liked the fact that I didn't have to put that itinerary together.
Correct.
And I don't have to be in charge.
Yes. And I'm totally okay with that if it's, a couple of days out of the vacation. I don't want that the whole time, but a couple of times, totally.
Yeah. No, and we did, especially when we went to Italy, we did have a lot of free time because it was more of an adult trip. When we went to Spain, we went with my daughter's high school Spanish. Linda remembered her squirrel. Go ahead.
Well, when we're talking about how you guys went to Florida, right? And you guys washed your clothes before coming here, and you as a Virgo, that's your ideal scenario.
Right.
But I'm just laughing because I'm realizing, I'm the free spirit, but I'm also the sloppy one, the crazy one, the clumsy one. But whatever, it is what I'll ask the question. Let's pretend you didn't have time to wash your clothes.
Yeah.
Wherever you travel to, and you get home. Do you put your clothes to wash the same day, the next day, just your luggage center for a couple days? What happens to you? Go ahead, ladies.
I'll let Joe answer this one first, because I feel like everybody knows my answer anyway.
I washed my clothes the same day, damn it.
That's her Virgo moon.
I can't.
I want you all to know that Joanna was about to scratch her neck, like if she had rabies, just thinking about not washing the clothes the moment she got home.
It was giving her the heebie-jeebies.
Oh man, no! And I put them in a separate bag and separate them from all my clean clothes too.
Oh, I do that too.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Listen, okay.
Same thing with the shoes. I always put my shoes in
goes
bags.
right into the washing machine. Nope.
Squirrel on this, but it actually pertains to this. Remember we were talking earlier about we like Shein. Okay, everybody. I know you girls out there. I know everybody, and there has to be people that like Shein and Temu, whatever. Anyway. Linda does the reveal box. What is it called? Unboxing reveal on FaceTime with me. So we're always like, oh, that looks cute. Oh, anyway. So we were talking about this this last time. What was it? Last week sometime. And the bags that they have. And I was like, oh my God, that's perfect for traveling. Let me tell you, I got my order in and I have my bags.
It's like this bagging for the panties, this bagging for the socks.
My socks. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm going to put in my next order to Shein because I will be doing the same thing.
They are good bags. Yeah. I'll give you that. Well, I will tell you, ladies, that my ADHD kicks in when it comes to coming back in my dirty clothes.
Okay.
If I don't wash it right away, I can completely forget they exist. And then I can be like, where are my jeans? Where's my shirt? And then I realize that I have a bag full of clothes that I have not washed.
Yeah.
It sucks.
See, and I can't handle, first of all, I have to, and it doesn't even matter what time I get home. I have to unpack.
Oh no, my shit goes into the washing machine. I'm sorry. Period.
Okay. Follow-up question. Okay. We went to Tampa. We are not staying with anybody. We're checking into a hotel. We each have our own room. Do you take your clothes out and put it in the drawers? Do you keep it in your bag?
I keep it in my bag.
So do I. Joanna and I have traveled together, so she knows how I travel now.
But I don't, so tell me.
Okay, so I'm very...
Yes, you know what? I've had enough wine to say, Joanna and Yvette have gone on girls trip, but they don't take me. But whatever.
No, not true.
Sorry, you all get to know me. I love to stir the pot.
She does love to stir the pot.
Okay, so tell me. How do you travel? What do you do with it?
I literally live out of my suitcase. And I have a toiletry bag that I take to the shower, to the bathroom. I use my shit there. I keep it inside. And the only thing that I probably will take out that lays out are either things that I need to hang up because I hate fucking ironing. I'll do that. And then also maybe if we're staying in a hotel, then I'll put my shower stuff and leave it in the shower because I know I'm showering every day.
Does it have to do with cleanliness? Meaning, do the drawers gross you out, and that's why you don't put things in there?
Yes.
Yes and no. That's part of it. The fact that I don't trust that people clean the hotel rooms very well, although I do sleep on the bed, so whatever. I mean, but that's neither here nor there. But the other part is I don't ever want to leave anything behind. So if I spread out like I'm living there, even though I'm only staying there for a couple of days, or I may be staying there for 2 weeks, it doesn't matter. If I'm spread out like I'm living there, then for me, it's a big thing. When I was in Amsterdam, ask my daughter. My daughter is complete opposite of me, by the way. Complete opposites, but she's an Aries. So she literally spreads out all her stuff everywhere. The bathroom, I was like, Bree, take your shit out of the bathroom. I need to now put my stuff. I need counter space. I need shower space. I need to put my stuff there when I'm using it. And then I'm also, if I'm traveling, especially with females, because I know that we're all different and we all have products and whatever, and we're sharing a shower or we're sharing a bedroom, then I like to just keep my stuff all out of the way and be mindful of the fact that you girls might need some space. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'll find a corner and I keep my stuff there in that corner.
So I do unpack, which I'll be honest, thinking of how OCD you ladies are, or, meticulous. Let's see, not necessarily OCD, but meticulous.
I have OCD tendencies.
I would have thought that you would. I personally, for example, I always travel with a small pack of wet wipes and a small pack of Clorox wipes.
Same.
Because you never know. So I would have thought, okay, you grab your Clorox wipe, you clean your drawers, and then because this is what happens to me. If I leave everything in my bag, I feel like it all gets mixed up. Like my pants and my shirts, and I don't know. It's too much. Now, if I got my Clorox wipe, I clean my drawers, because I do get grossed out. I'm not gonna lie. But I want in the top drawer the shirts, in the middle, my shirts and maybe my panties and my bras, and then the second drawer with my pants and my socks, because that's like the order, top to bottom.
Yeah.
And that's how I keep my things. Now, I don't have to worry about leaving things behind, and this will lead to my next question. It's because I have to check everything before I leave a hotel.
So do I.
I look at the drawers.
I know I didn't put anything in the drawers, I still check the drawers.
I check for my charger. I check for, yeah.
But that's my thing. I don't have to worry I'm leaving anything behind, because I'm paranoid and I'm looking at the drawers under the bed. I'm checking the bathroom. In other words, I don't care unpacking, because my train of thought is not, A, it's dirty because I'm going to clean the drawers first. And 2, I'm not worried about leaving something behind, because I kid you not, I check everything. I packed. I take my luggage to the car. I go back. I look at the room again. And then I turn in my keys, or then I check out. So I don't really worry about leaving anything behind, because I probably check like 2-3 times. Because again, I'm naturally.
She's making my foot twitch.
I know. My knee is going.
My foot's going like this.
Because I want to put things in the drawer.
I don't know what it is. And I do the same thing you do. I double and triple check, and it's just like, it's an OCD thing.
So does your Virgo Joanna take over from your ADHD? Because to me, I feel like the other reason why I have to pull it out is because if I don't see my clothes, then I forget that I have it. Now, if I open my drawer and I see my shirts, my pants, I'm like, okay, I can mix it with this. Hey, if I wear these pants today, I can probably wear them again in 2 days with this other shirt. Yeah. So mentally, I'm putting outfits together that I know I did at home already.
Yeah.
But I can again think about my outfits because I'm looking at them. If I don't look at them, then I forget. Again, I forget it exists. Out of sight, out of mind.
Answer, Joanna, and then I'll come back, because you're going to trip out on me.
When I pack my stuff as my outfits. So everything is put.
That's exactly what I do. That's what I was going to say. And when I'm in the hotel, like wherever we are, like in a trip, I literally will unpack and pack again. Like the stuff that I'm wearing. So if
I refold everything.
Me too. So I'm there from Thursday to Sunday. Literally, when I pack on Wednesday, I'm there Thursday to Sunday. When I pack on Wednesday,
how am I friends with you, crazy lady?
Sunday's outfit is on the bottom, Saturdays is on top, then Fridays and Thursdays on top. Yeah, that's how I pack. That is literally.
You see, okay, so this is my.
Sorry.
Well, it's fine. That's okay. This is the fun of this conversation. Well, here's my thing, though. My other issue is I'm too moody. Okay, it depends on my mood what I want to wear. It depends on my mood. I can be like, oh my gosh, I'm bloated. I don't want to wear jeans. Fuck that. I want to wear leggings. and an oversized shirt so I'm comfortable or whatever. So that's the other reason why I cannot do what you guys just described. Anna, you're looking at me crazy. Okay. What's happening?
I don't know.
You're a double saggy. What is this? What's your wild and adventurous side? And what's happening? I feel like I don't know you anymore.
It's so true.
Damn, that Virgo's strong in you.
I am a double saggy for 1000%. I am true to my sign, but at the same time, I'm also. I think it has a lot to do with being responsible for so much in my lifetime. So in my 49 years of living, that I think that kind of plays into my OCD in a way. So I know that I'm responsible for my belongings. So I have to make sure that everything is checked.
Okay.
In this odd form. We were talking about in one of our podcasts about how you have a list, and I say I write everything down that I've done for the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a responsibility thing for me that I take with me.
Accountability.
Yeah. So it's a childhood thing to an adult thing. So it's just something that I've carried with myself, which plays along with my OCD, but I also have a lot of ADD tendencies as well. So they're constantly battling each other in my head. Trust me, they are.
But the OCD's waiting for what I hear.
Now, sometimes it does over.
Going back to our upbringing, did you guys travel a lot on your childhood? Or in other words, do you love traveling because of your childhood, or do you love traveling because you always dreamed to travel, or maybe a different reason?
So in my childhood, we did travel. We went to see our family in PR, but my sister and I spent a lot of time in New York with our family in New York. So, I didn't travel too much per se.
Mm-hmm.
I travel more now as an adult than I did as a young kid. Like, I've been to more places in my life now than I did as my young kid. My parents and my brother, they traveled a lot because my parents would always take my brother because he was younger. So I enjoy it more now. I value it more now. So when I get to go to Montana, Wyoming, to Idaho, to those different places, like, I actually take it in. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. And that's the adventurous side of me. I want to see everything.
Yeah.
I want to ride our bikes to South Carolina. I want to go to North Carolina. I want to go to OBX. I want to go to PR and like have a trip with my friends and all that. So
she said it twice already. So yeah, guys, Joanna rides a bike. So if we got some riders listening,
we went to South Carolina with Yvette riding a bike too. So just so y'all know,
that's true.
We broke her out of her shell.
Yeah, and she has her license too.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for her to get her bike, so she'll be riding with you as well. But I must say that if you are a biker, you're listening to us, welcome to our podcast. We love y'all.
One of our favorite pastimes, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I must say I grew up traveling. My parents are divorced and my dad lives in a different state. So every summer we had a summer vacation schedule. Then when I was in high school that I lived here in the States, then my dad decided to do more of like local trips. So I got to go to California. I went to New York. I went to Vegas. I went to a lot of places. But I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of the traveling that I didn't appreciate because I was a kid. Even though I was a teenager, I was still a kid. It's completely different to travel as an adult when you actually get to appreciate things. I think the fact that my dad took me around so much, it gave me almost like the freedom to travel. I feel like there's part of me with my anxiety that is a little bit afraid to travel, but because my dad exposed me so much to traveling internationally, that I'm okay traveling. And my mom was more of a local traveler. She loves to travel. I think if I would have been raised in a different household, I would never travel. Like, my anxiety would take the best of me. Getting in a plane full of people, all these different things. I think it would be crazy to me, but because I've done it so much growing up, it's almost like normal. Okay, I know nothing's gonna happen to me. Crazy story, actually. I met this lady that she basically died on a plane crash, and they had to like rebuild almost every bone in her body, and she made it. And I would look at her and I'm like, Nani, are you not afraid to? And she goes, you know what are the chances to be, to crash in a plane twice?
Yeah. To crash on a plane once.
Right, right. But but she went through it once already.
Yeah,
So
and then she beat the odds. So I'm sorry. I kind of feel her, like I envy her because it resonates with me, because I think that's probably how I would be. It's like the chances of you dying on a plane crash, you have more chance of dying in a car.
Yes.
You're in a car every single fucking day. You're not on a plane every single day.
Right.
But you have more chances of dying in a car crash than you do in a plane crash. And the fact that people are so afraid of flying, that trips me out. I've been flying by myself since I was 11 years old. My mom would send me on trips. She would send me to Houston to go visit my cousin, who now lives in Georgia here, and I would go for the summers. And then she would send me also to LA, either on a plane or on the bus with my grandmother, with my cousins. We would literally take out the kids by ourselves.
We love you, Kim.
Yeah. Seriously, we would go to LA for the summers too. So my mom would just send me, and I mean, I would have to wear the little lanyard that says, I'm
companion.
Yeah. And of course, I got special seating, and they took care of me on the plane and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I did that. I've been traveling.
Me
for
too. I mean, I did that internationally.
Basically. Yeah,
I remember
that's crazy. Yeah.
I remember that being a couple of times. Now my dad couldn't make it on time because again we get 2 months of summer vacation. So my dad would send me here to the States with my aunt or my grandparents, and then he will come when he got his vacation from work, maybe a month later or 2 weeks later.
So let's touch on what you said about the airport anxiety. Y'all need to see me in an airport.
Really?
Anxiety? I'm almost at panic attack.
Oh gosh.
And
I slept in an airport before.
And it's as soon, my thing is being surrounded by so many people.
And that's my thing too. That's why I don't do amusement parks.
I start to sweat. I start to feel uncomfortable. I can just feel like I'm ready to have a panic attack. I fight through it. Don't get me wrong. I will fight through it, get on that plane and go. But I'm ready to like explode anxiety wise. Too much shit going on. And that could be my just being overly stimulated.
Yes.
At that point. But even, I think it's just a group thing too. We had a social event for work, and the more people that came in, the more anxiety I started getting. Like I had to leave. I had to remove myself and go because I just felt myself sweat. I mean, I fucking sweat at the airport. My cheeks are flushed and everything. Like I'm like, just get me on the fucking plane and get me the fuck out of here.
Forget about when things go wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, hold on. I get paused. I want to talk about that. But I will say this. I do agree with you. And again, like I said, I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert. So I definitely want to be on my show and don't touch me. Don't look at me. I'm the same way. But I guess because I've been traveling so much, I kind of oversee some of that. However, that's the reason why whenever I take trips, I have to be in the airport hours in advance.
So am I.
Me too.
Because I rather get to the...
So am I. Yeah. And I'm still freaking at 1,000 panic.
You just need a drink, girl.
No,
you need some mushrooms.
My iWatch is telling me, your heart rate is 100 and something. And I'm just like, just get me on the fucking plane, please. Please. I'm going to have a panic attack. I'm going to get out of here with an ambulance.
Lord. So you're fine on the plane. It's just,
I am fine on the plane.
Airport.
It's the fucking airport.
You know what? I mean, honestly, and I'm going to say the airports they're already fucking chaotic. And so I get that. I get why you get anxious stuff. My soon to be 19-year-old, she just started traveling by herself when she came out here to visit me the first year. She was 16. So that's when she started traveling by herself, right? And I made sure I put her on a nonstop flight. Make sure she's not having to change planes in fucking Phoenix or Dallas or one of those crazy airports.
Atlanta? Oh gosh,
And
poor girl.
but I will say this: Atlanta being the busiest airport probably in the United States, or one of the busiest, because I mean JFK is up there too.
Yeah, I was gonna say
JFK is up there too.
New York is,
but Atlanta is crazy. Even Atlanta International is even worse. But so well organized, I will say. They have signs everywhere. You ask somebody a question, they know exactly where to tell you to go. Other airports are just like, you're lost. So Phoenix Airport, I don't know if you've ever been to Phoenix Airport, but it's so humongous, just like Atlanta. And you've got the whole, the concourses or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like a gazillion of them. You have to do the trains, the sky trains, whatever they're called. You have to do all of that as well in Phoenix and in Dallas.
I do agree. Atlanta is very organized.
It really is. It really is. For being such a huge fucking airport and busy as fuck all the time, they really do have like everything like very, very well organized, well planned out, and well laid out. I think it's one of the largest airports that I've traveled through or to and from. And but I don't get as much anxiety as that.
When I went to Puerto Rico, that was like the best airport. It was like bing, 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 bing.
Is it a small airport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to Tampa, I was like, what the fuck?
It's a perfect.
There was tunnel. Which one do I take? I'm like, holy shit. I'm calling Tammy. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
What do I take?
Where are you? Oh, I'm 30
get
minutes away. Come get me. I'm going to have a panic attack.
Listen, I feel like Puerto Rico has like 3 concourses.
Yeah.
It's so small.
But it's perfect.
It's like-
everyone's so nice.
They
Everyone
are.
wants to help you.
That's true.
And you're like just chilling. And Tampa, it's like you're like, so I'm supposed to, and they're like, yeah, you're supposed to take that one. And I'm like, bro, I am not in the South anymore. Because everyone is so not helpful.
Listen, in Atlanta, at Atlanta's airport, I will say, you mentioned something about asking people for directions and stuff. They have, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe 6 different parking areas for you to park, long-term parking, right? And then from there, you either got to get a shuttle, you got to get the SkyTran, I think that's what it's called. Anyway, you have to get to the airport, right? And then they have the one at the airport, which is obviously more expensive, but the whole, it's so fucking big. Nobody understands how big fucking Atlanta
until you have
is.
to experience it.
Yeah.
Until you have to experience it. Like, it's Delta's hub, right? So like the whole terminal is Delta. They have a South terminal. It's all Delta.
I'm not gonna lie. I wish Delta was more affordable.
Yeah.
Because
I always fly Delta now, especially out of here.
I was
I
gonna
don't
tell
give a
you.
fuck how the
I
price
was
is
gonna tell you because Delta makes everything easy.
yeah, they do.
I feel like everything else, I feel like you have to figure it out.
Exactly.
But Delta side is easy.
It's easy,
Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It feels smooth, and I'm
The
like, I
baggage
understand why
claim.
people are paying the extra.
Everything is like, yeah. Now, I have also traveled when I first came down to visit. I came down using American Airlines. So that's on the north side, right? And same thing with that. I mean, I felt like it was super easy for me. I just read the signs, you know, jump on the tram. Okay, I got to go. Baggage claim. Oh, there I go. Literally, the escalator will take you to the train. You have to take the tram.
You have to take the tram.
It
doesn't matter.
No matter where you are.
Yeah, every single time.
Take the tram. You have to. But
I mean, you can walk, but it'll take you forever.
Forever.
Make that choice.
Wrong.
No,
yeah,
wrong.
Take the tram.
Nah. Okay.
That was so funny.
Let's switch it up from planes a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you been on a cruise? Do you like cruises?
I have never been on a cruise.
Me neither.
Never. Me either. No, never. Oh my God, you guys, listeners, this is the first time I think this has ever happened.
Yes.
Like all of us having the same experience right now.
Never.
Joanna,
Or
I'm sorry.
lack of that experience.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. We gotta go on a cruise.
We do
All
have to
the
go on a
3 of
cruise.
us.
Yeah.
I was talking about this earlier before the podcast because I want to go in January.
Listen, I was telling one of our other friends, this couple of ours, our friends that are a couple, whatever, I was telling them, you guys, let's all go on a singles cruise just for me. But you guys go in couples, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then you pretend like you find each other on the cruise. That's who you
Yeah.
mesh with. But then go like to support me.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
Just go to support me. We'll go on a singles cruise.
Oh my goodness.
I hear they're a lot of fun, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I agree. Damn. Then we gotta have to decide about cruises.
Oh
We're
my
gonna have to
God.
experience it first. Wow.
Okay. Switching gears a little bit. I have a question for you girls.
Mm.
Have you had any experiences? Like, what have you experienced men out of the country? I know you guys are in a committed relationship. I get that now.
No,
I
in
mean,
the past.
in your
In the
past,
past,
yeah,
yeah.
in the past. Have you noticed that the men are different in different countries, or just even different states?
Mhm.
Oh,
just
yeah, for sure.
in different areas. I know coming from California, I can tell you the men are very different in California than they
Yeah.
are here in Georgia.
Oh,
Like
100%.
totally different. And they're different in Amsterdam than they are in Spain or they are in Italy.
Mhm.
I mean, those are the countries I've been to. Mexico, I've been to Mexico too. So what are your experiences?
Well, for me, given the fact that I moved here when I was 13 from Venezuela,
Mhm,
right? And then there was a few years that I couldn't go back home because of papers and whatnot. I finally went back when I was 15, about to turn 16. And then after that, almost every single year up to when I turned 20, I went back home. I can tell you two different scenarios, okay? First of all, I'm going to lay it out there. For whatever reason, I'm so different than my culture. Even though I love my culture, I'm so different than my culture. I usually don't like people from Venezuela. They're too conceited for my taste. But in those high school years, there was something about the spice, the way they flirt, the way that caught my attention, right?
Yeah.
Now, I will say this: when I went to Mexico, it was very interesting to me because I grew up watching these novelas, right? And man, these actors are so good looking.
Where in Mexico did you go?
Let me get there. So when I went to Mexico City, I'm like, so where are these guys from the novelas? Like the guys are not, they don't look like in the novelas. Mm-mm. Now, I went to Guadalajara.
Woo.
And I'm like, here they are. This is where novelas come from. This is where the guys and the horses and Gata Salvaje come from, you know?
The freaking horse riders with
Yeah.
the buckles.
Yeah.
And the cowboy
hat. Yeah. There you go. But again, going back to my experience with my friend from Switzerland, when I met her, it was actually her and this other guy. They were not together, but he was from Switzerland. Well, he was white as a ghost. His hair was super blonde. The bluest eyes I've seen in my life.
Wow, yeah.
But I didn't find him attractive.
No?
He liked flavor, I guess, for my taste.
Yeah.
So because of that, I kind of lost interest in men. Culturally, I need a little bit more. Now we're talking about Spain. Italy.
Italy has the best looking men, and that's my opinion, anywhere around the world. Like Italian men are just so fucking, their jaw structure, they're just so perfectly.
I went to Guadalajara, right?
Yeah.
And finally I saw the beautiful men that I saw in novelas, right?
Yeah.
But in my opinion, because they know they were hot, they were all about, oh, I know who I am. I'm the last coke in the desert, right?
Yeah.
Now, men from Italy or Spain, physically they look good. They're handsome. Now their personality, they're romantic. Yeah, some of them might be prideful, but generally I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, Yvette.
Yeah.
I feel like their pride comes in how they make love to you. Their
Yes.
pride comes in how they flirt with you.
Because
And
it's about romance.
Yes,
Exactly.
and that makes them even harder because again, we have agreed that they're good looking.
Yes.
But then the way that they take pride in how they treat a lady.
I will say that when I went to Spain, I thought I was going to experience like the the European lovers.
No,
you know,
they're prideful.
they're very prideful men,
Mhm.
and they are not gentlemen. I will say chivalry is pretty much dead in Spain. I did
Oh.
not really see that. When I went to Italy, though, like you said, they want to make a woman feel beautiful, and it does not matter what they look like. To be honest with you,
Mhm.
they want to make sure that you know what they're looking at. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting, because I was married to an Italian.
No, I mean, but you were married
But
to
a US Italian.
I was
US
gonna
Italian,
say
yeah,
a New
like,
York Italian.
let's be real. Like the men that are from the United States, I mean, it's
Well,
hit or miss with them. It's hit or miss. I'm just gonna say that.
Well, it's not just that. I think a little bit of that has to do with the pride is the reputation, right? Just like
Yeah.
we're speaking highly right now, right, about these Italians.
Mhm.
Guess what? They're in the States, so now they have a chip on their shoulders because they know there's a reputation on their heritage.
Is it a reputation, or is it how they were raised?
Ah, and that's true because I mean, if they're
them
raised
Italian moms
here,
are,
yeah, those Italian moms, the
They don't
U.S.
play.
Italian moms. But even over there, I mean, because I will tell you, I have never felt more at home. I am half Mexican, half Spaniard. Okay, I'm part European.
Yeah,
47% European.
yes.
You know, so I get that. Like, but when you're born here, I feel like the people who came here immigrated to the United States or emigrated to the United States. I feel like the second generation or the first generations that were born here in the United States, they were raised a little bit differently.
Mhm.
And I'm talking specifically about Italians, because when you go to New York and you go to like Little Italy, okay, find great food, whatever, you know, in New York, in you know, Little
I
Italy
agree.
in San Francisco,
I
they
agree.
have great Italian food, right? But you go to Italy, the country, people there are they're not walking around with chips on their fucking
No.
shoulders. I'm sorry.
Well,
They're so welcoming, they're so warm. I have never felt more at home. And I'm maybe like a very small percentage of Italian, you know, like less than 1% Italian, but in my DNA, that's what I'm saying. But I have never felt more at home in Italy. Like,
yeah,
I did not feel that in Spain, I'll tell you that.
Right.
And I'm 47%.
yeah, but I think
It doesn't make any
Italians
sense.
they there's something about the home feel that they purposely create, right? For example, in Italy, you can go to a park, right? And then they have bars around it. And you're drinking wine, you're drinking beer, and your kids is playing with the other kids in the playground while you're talking with the other adults while you're drinking your wine and drinking your beer. And nobody's judging you because you're drinking wine while you watch your kids play.
Because there's a family dynamic.
Yes.
It is so different. And the same way when you're in Puerto Rico, it's like a whole nother world. You know, you have everyone's so welcoming, everyone's so loving. And then you come here to the US, you have your very small pod of people that are that way.
Yeah.
But when you go there, it's like everyone's like, oh, como bienvenido, vamos a comer, vamos, you know, vamos a bailar, vamos, you know, it's a different culture. It's a different way of being raised. Again, it's a whole family dynamic.
It is.
You are raised differently in these countries, these states, these territories, whatever you want to call them. You're raised differently. Here in the U.S., I feel sometimes like you're just entitled to things. You know, you don't have that same respect for your parents. You don't have that same respect for other people, your elders, your neighbors. You don't have any of that. And people are going to come and attack and hate and say whatever, but it is just different. The culture is different.
1,000%.
It's so different.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, like when I was in Italy, I didn't feel I was a complete outsider. Maybe in a different lifetime, I was Italian. I lived in Italy, because they say when you're drawn to like a certain, you know, culture or area, or, you know, what geographical area, that's probably because you live there or you grew up there in a different lifetime, right? So I maybe in a different lifetime I was, but in this lifetime, I'm not Italian. Like, I mean, a very, like I said, less than 1% and of my DNA is Italian, you know? So I felt so at home
because
though.
it's the appreciation
Yeah.
and that welcoming love, attention.
Yeah. So going back to the original, like, okay, how are men different cultures or different countries or whatever? Just even within here in the United States, I mentioned this, like when I said this at first when we started this little segment. Even in California, the men are so different than here in the South. Like, I'm in Georgia, men literally want to open. The other day, I forgot where we were going, but Kevin was still here and he was like, don't you dare. And I'm like, what am I doing? I was about to open my own door. You know what I mean? And he was like, don't you dare touch that. Don't you dare do that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what? What are you talking about? Literally opening the door. That is Southern hospitality, Southern men, you know, just literally having that chivalry, you know what I'm saying? Just common courtesy, chivalry, protectiveness, whatever it is. I mean, I haven't experienced that honestly with anybody of my male friends in California. I will say that. And I love my male friends in California, but none of them
But
do
Jersey's
that.
the same way, girl. I'm
Okay,
so
but
used to
that's the North.
you know, I'm so used to opening the door myself and doing what I need to do myself. And it's like now I have this Southern boy who wants to open the door for me and do whatever for me. It's a different world. You're raised differently. And
we have to as women. We do.
And we have to be okay with that.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
we have to. Goes back to one of our very first episodes where we have to fall into our feminine and literally
let them be on their masculine.
Yes, let them be, because when we're like, oh no, I can do this, like, oh, we know you can do that, but let him. Can you imagine what this world would be like if all of us kind of, and I'm not saying this to be, oh my gosh, you know, anti-feminist, whatever, even though I am, but I'm saying if everybody fell into their quote unquote roles, you know, I feel like us as a society, as a global society, I feel like we would take those, the quote unquote Latin lovers that are all out, let me make the woman feel good and everything. That would be all, it wouldn't be a Latin lover thing, or it wouldn't be an Italian lover thing. No. It wouldn't be other country thing. You know what I mean? Like,
or
it would
a Southern boy thing.
Or a Southern boy thing. It would be a global thing. Just in general, men like to make you feel like a woman, you know? I mean, and when you find that, like, when you find that,
it's like, holy smokes.
Yes, it's fantastic.
It is
mind blowing. It takes you out of your comfort and your out of your elements. You're
then, okay, so it takes you out of your comfort zone, right? Like, it takes you out of your masculine, but in a good way. It puts you into this feminine, gentle, soft side, and you're just like
giddy.
Yes. And you can be like a little girl, like a little schoolgirl, just literally so safe, so in your feminine
and accepted.
Yes, and submissive almost. You just, I don't want to be in charge. Like, no, it's okay, baby. You be in charge. What do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? Like, okay, that's.
Are you kidding me? Now I wait for Kevin to open the door for me. I'm just like,
excuse me, sir. Are you kidding me?
You're taking too long.
I gotta pee, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Please open the door for me. Thank you.
You created this monster. You deal with it.
Now, listen, what it really boils down to, and I will say this, like, just watching, like, we were talking about this, Bridgerton. Okay, everybody watches Bridgerton, right?
Love it.
Okay, the ladies do not fucking go and, I can't open my own door. No. They literally
There's
wait.
an expectation.
There is an expectation, exactly. And you wait because you're a lady. And then if a man doesn't open it, then okay, fucking walk away from that shit real quick, right? And that's what it was back in the day.
Yeah.
It was etiquette. We talked about that before.
Exactly.
It was etiquette.
Exactly.
It's the way you were raised, the rules that you were shown, the courtesy, how women were held in such high standard for males. You know,
I listened to a reel the other day, and it said something about like women were actually revered as the ones who held all the wisdom. So the men would look to the women to guide them and give them that, share that wisdom with them, you know? So we were put on a pedestal. We were like goddesses, basically, you know? Where it all changed, I don't know. I don't know what fucking little serpent came and said, you know what? I want to be just like a man. Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry.
We're gonna have so many haters on this, but
and that's okay. This is Yvette, by the
facts
way. Like, no.
are facts.
Yeah.
And I was raised old school. I saw old school stuff, and I saw what my mom went through. Not that I want to go through anything my mom went through, and my dad, you know, in their relationship, but it's good to feel that comfort.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, but even in Bridgerton,
and that trust.
Yes. Well, but even in Bridgerton, right? It's the whole thing with what is it, Mrs. Whistledown, right?
Whistledown.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The whole reason why she kept it private, the whole reason why it all stayed that way, is because back then there was not an expectation for women to be writers.
True. To speak their minds.
To speak their minds, to have their own point of view. So you're right. Women were held in some high regard when it came to wisdom and knowledge. But at the same time, I feel like it was like, okay, you're this and you're beautiful and gorgeous and this stuff's right here. Let me put you in a crystal box.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, though.
Behind the scenes.
But that's what we were talking about in our balancing masculine and feminine energy. It's the balance. There's a fine line. It's like, okay, I am going to hold you in the highest regard, but in front of everybody else, in front of society, in front of the world, the man needs to be the man, right? He needs to be seen as, that he's the one in charge and everything, okay? But behind the curtain, he's going to be like, honey, wait, should we this and that? Like, what do you think? And us as wisdom holders, we are there to guide our man. You had mentioned this, Joanna, about how a king, behind every great king, there was a great queen.
Yep.
And they ruled together. Not to say that the queen ever, I mean, mind you, there are some in history. There have been very powerful queens, but what makes them really powerful is the fact that they actually have supported their king. You know what I'm saying?
That's where they got all their information. That's how they learned everything that they needed to learn to be that great queen.
Yep. And that's why even here in the United States with presidents and then the first ladies are always put forth as the front facing, right? Like the humanitarians and the this and the that, because that's our role. That is our role. We are not meant to fucking fight wars and everything, even though we probably can. Yes. I mean, granted, I've heard many men say women are even Kevin said women are fucking powerful. Like they are, but emotionally, mentally, we are powerful.
Yes.
Physically, it's our men. So if we combine our mental and emotional wisdom and power, combine it with their physical power, that fucking combination is, I mean,
here comes the haters.
It's wow. I'm sorry,
here
but
comes
I'm
the
very
haters.
old school.
Here comes Linda.
No,
however, I am old school, but I bring the new school as well. I played basketball growing up. I'm sorry. Have you watched women play basketball? It looks savage. It's crazy. It's wild. I feel like the NBA is like cordial, and then you see the women play basketball and they're so freaking aggressive. And I think it's because there's a sense of emotion.
Yes,
there's something that we like, again, because we're trying to be like men and we have to prove something.
But that's where we get in trouble.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Is all the emotion we put into things.
Yes,
because if we were to vote a woman president in, you think she would think twice about hitting that nuclear button?
No.
Fuck no.
No.
She'll be like, fuck those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. We're hitting this button and we're blowing up that
Okay.
country,
country,
whatever,
whatever,
Yeah.
that planet. It
I-
doesn't matter.
I'll give you a real scenario.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Off topic a little bit, y'all.
a little
Sorry.
bit.
Super, but that's
Super,
okay.
but it's okay. This is where it took us. So it's
Traveling
alright.
to other dimensions.
We're still traveling.
We're still traveling.
Exactly. But Randall started watching Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Right? He actually just finished watching it. He actually yesterday he goes, I have 3 more episodes to go, and I'm like, and he's like, what? And I'm like, so much happens in those last 3 episodes.
It does.
And anyway, so today he's having like withdrawals.
Great show.
Right, about what's happening.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you see, this is what I don't get about Game of Thrones fans.
Mhm.
Listen, she went crazy. She had to be out.
Mhm.
She had to, because she's descendant of the Mad King.
Mhm.
And for those that have not watched Game of Thrones, I'm sorry. But Daenerys, she went crazy.
Yeah, she did.
She went crazy. So yeah, she had to be out. I don't give a crap. There's no mercy. She went crazy. She let power get to her head.
Emotions.
Emotions, all of that
Yeah.
stuff.
As much as we say we're not gonna fucking make decisions based off emotions, there's always emotion there.
There's always
and
emotion.
men can fucking compartmentalize.
They
and
can.
They can remove
And we
emotions,
cannot.
and they can just go
and
forward
that's
with-
why she had to get
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
She could not be queen because she got too emotional. She got in her head.
Yeah.
And again, just like him, many people are like, oh my gosh. And Jon Snow went back to the wall. And I'm like, get out of here. He signed up for the wall
That
in
is
season 1.
He signed up for the wall, but he also tried to bring her back
He
Yes.
did.
because he loved her
Yeah.
so much that
Yeah.
he wanted her to be okay and to
Yeah.
actually see what was actually happening.
And
that is so like, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, and ladies out there, I'm just saying, think about the relationships you've been in. Think about the things that men have done to try to bring us back from the fucking ledge, try to talk us off the ledge.
yes.
We think that we are so, and we are really powerful. We really are. I mean, the divine feminine is very, very
It really
powerful.
is.
Mother Earth is called Mother Earth for a reason, right? But Father Son is literally what gives Mother Earth life. Okay. So without Father Son, there is no Mother Earth. I'm sorry. But when we think about, when we make decisions, women out there, when we make decisions, and even me, I have a very logical mind. I have my masculine is a little bit more than my feminine. You know, I haven't learned how to balance it yet. But when I make decisions, I think to myself, okay, no, I'm going to make really logical decisions. So I try not to be in my emotions, and I think I'm pretty good at that. But again, I'm a little bit more masculine. I feel like when we really think about who's trying to bring us back down to earth, right? Like, who's trying to ground us? Who's trying to tell us, don't be so emotional, don't be crazy, calm down, whatever. Like, us women, we don't like to be told calm down or take it easy or whatever, because we're always in our emotions, that heightened state of emotion, of reactiveness. Instead of being proactive, we are very reactive.
Yes.
You know?
My whole thing of bringing this up was because women, myself, I'm so ruthless. This Game of Thrones ending could have lasted 2-3 seasons, right? With everything.
I agree.
That not just that, but big picture, right? They dragged the story along so well, because it wasn't bad. It was so well through all the other seasons, where they could have extended all of that into 2 to 3 seasons, right? So, but here comes my partner being more logical. Oh my God.
He's a Virgo.
Yeah. And he's like, man, Jon Snow did so much for the history of the 7 kingdoms, right? It's not fair that he has to go back to the wall. And because even though he's emotional, he's also thinking logically. Now, me being the woman that I am, I'm ruthless. I'm like, no, I don't give a fuck. He signed up for the wall anyways. It's okay. At least he's alive. He can go back to the wall. And yeah, she had to die. So that's like, you were like, yeah, can you imagine a woman as a president? I'm like, that's tough.
We would have zero qualms about pushing that button.
Exactly.
And we would have men as our freaking advisors. Saying, I'm sorry, Madam President. And we'd be like, no, fuck that shit. They're gone.
That's it. Kill them all.
But
seriously,
here's
that's
the
crazy.
thing. Jon Snow was a soldier from the beginning.
Yes, he was.
So he ended up where he needed to end up because that's who he was.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
And sometimes us as women, we have to take in all that and be like, if you're a soldier, you're a soldier.
Yeah.
If you're a woman, you're a woman.
Yeah.
And that's where we talked about the whole boss thing. You can be a boss but still be in your feminine.
Exactly. Yes. And that we have to come back to that, I feel, because we have lost that. Mm-hmm. So we make rash decisions sometimes. Yes. Emotional decisions, especially depending on our sun sign. Like I feel like as a Virgo, and I'm a Libra rising, so I'm very balanced. I try to find balance in everything. So I feel like because of that, I think more logically. And then I'm always in my masculine. So I'm, again, very logical thinker. So I try not to make decisions based on emotion. But let me tell you, there are some times where I'm just like, oh, fuck the dumb shit. Like, my Saggy moon comes and I'm like, this is what we're doing.
Well, and I was going to say, I don't know if it's my Sagittarius side, but I can cut people out of my life so easily. Yes. Or jobs or whatever.
I've told people this.
I am the same way.
Yeah.
When you do me wrong, that's it.
That's enough.
I'm good.
I don't need one more.
I'm good. Yep. I don't need you.
You show me your true colors.
Yeah. I don't need you disturbing my peace.
Yes.
No, I've told people this 1,000 times. I even told my daughter, it's a little bit scary for me because I scare myself sometimes how fast I can disconnect from somebody.
Yes.
I'm like, damn, but I really loved that person. Like, okay, but fuck it.
No. You loved them
until.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll give you 2 seconds of my time to be angry. And then after that, you're dead.
Yes.
Yep, you're done. I never knew you.
No.
You never existed.
We do gotta close this up.
Do we?
So, we have to. But I have a astro question for you ladies.
So astro travel.
Yes.
Sorry, we got off the topic there.
It's okay. So if you had to travel to another timeline, where would you love to go to? Lord, so we're talking about anywhere, 30s, 50s, 80s. What's your thing?
So I think we talked about this, or maybe we haven't. I can't remember. But favorite movie, Grease. Okay, for me.
You gotta keep up.
Okay, yeah, I mean, seriously, that's like my favorite movie. And so I always used to say I was born in the wrong era and I should have been born in the 40s and 50s. Okay. I think because I have a past life, but the Victorian era, I would go back there. Definitely. What about you?
Me?
Yes.
LOL.
If you could go anywhere.
I think I would also go back to the Victorian era, the era. Again, wine talking. I would definitely go back to that because I feel the most connected to that.
Me too.
And we just had a conversation about this earlier, which is so funny. But I would definitely go back to that era of my life because
what is it about it that calls your attention?
I think because everything there was so much ugly, but there was so much beauty in it.
Yes.
And the women were allowed to be women. And as much as we fought for our rights at that very moment, I feel like feminine was still feminine, even when we were fighting for our rights, our voices, everything that empowers a woman nowadays. But we were still loving and caring and supportive and sweet and kind, innocent, and elegant, and innocent, and just so many beautiful things. I would go back to that. That is the one era in my life that I would say I would connect with.
Me too. I agree. And I will say that even though back then, because I will tell you the quick story. I know we have to go, but quick story. When I was in Italy, my best friend and I went with a group, and there was a couple that we really connected to, and we were in a museum or something. And I said, "Oh my God, I know I know my soul feels like it was back in this era, the 1800s, the 1700s. I know. And he looked at me, he was like, do you know that you wouldn't have any rights? Women were used as pawns, women were used as property, blah, 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 blah. And I looked at him and I was like, no, but I looked at him and I was like, yes, I do. But also, I know in my heart of hearts, deep in my soul,
I think that has to do a lot with the men that you were with.
This is what I'm saying. Like I know deep down in my soul that I was like a Bronte. I was like a Jane Austen. So I was like
Jane Austen.
I was progressive, but yet in my feminine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this is how I feel now. I feel like our soul essence carries through our lifetimes, our past lives and everything. So my soul essence has been to fight for that masculine side, because I have been a man in a past life. And we'll talk about this in a different podcast, but I know
not a different podcast, a different episode.
Different episodes. I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you.
We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it right here, guys. Don't worry. We'll bring you the tea.
Too much wine. But I know for a fact that I have lived in that era and in that time, and it resonates so deeply within my soul.
Yeah.
And not as a victim of property, but yet fully embodying the divine feminine and being 100% in my divine feminine.
Yeah.
We had this conversation before this where I know for a fact that I was a witch during the Salem times, right? I know for a fact I wasn't burnt at the stake, but I know that I thought differently than other women in that era. So the whole thing about me being in the 1800s and the 1700s, he looked at me like I was insane, because he was like, women
that's how I feel.
Women were raped. Okay, yes, I understand that. But I feel like I was one of the women that was not.
And that's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah.
It depends on the man.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in every era, it doesn't matter where, you have men that appreciated the value and the insight of women. And there were men that were just womanizers, or whatever you want to call it. You know? And even nowadays, there's men that are womanizers, and we are in the 2024.
But men are craving
the feminine
feminine side now.
Yeah, just like we're craving their masculine side.
Yeah, but I will say this. This is Linda talking here, the young one, the wild one in the group. I don't want to be in I never wanted to be in the Victorian, even though my middle name is Victoria, because I'm Queen Victoria. No, forget that. No, I'm too crazy and too wild to want to be born in that time. There were too many rules, too many restrictions.
Okay,
but,
so tell us.
I'm getting
Queen Elizabeth was wild.
Yes,
and
she was.
Strong.
Yes, she was.
So was Queen Mary of Scots.
Yes.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
I
mean,
she did get her head chopped off.
I mean, she did.
But at the same time, she stood for what she
believed.
Stood for.
Exactly. And she was very strong in her convictions.
Yes.
Well, that's my thing. I think that if I would have, or if, how you talk about your past life, I don't think like my soul is that old. I really don't think so. Even though I have an old soul, I don't feel like it's that old. Okay.
It's old.
It's old.
It's old.
When you get older, you'll
realize
not just that,
and you're gonna embrace it.
Well, we spoke about this earlier today, right? I'm more conservative. This whole thing about believing that I lived in different past lives is hard for me to accept.
That's your religious affiliation, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to accept all of that. But I'm more of, and we have agreed in this, I'm more of a hippie. Right?
Yeah.
So we're talking I'm more of the 1900s, 1960s, 70s, and 80s. I feel like that would be my time travel dream. I guess that's like I'm a hippie at heart. I love the freedom. I love the free spirit. And I think the reason why is because then women had more rights, had more freedom to speak, had more of a stand. But it was all about love. It was all about having a good time. It was all about being happy. It wasn't about having necessarily a reputation or a stature.
But it was, if you look into the history.
So going back to my hippie state of mind, I think I love the whole hippie thing because it's it's the realization of men is men, women are women, and we need each other, and it's all. And then World War I, World War II, blah blah blah. We're in the middle of all of this, and it's like forget what society wants us to be. We need love. We need peace, and that's why I love the hippie idea
Love
because
makes the world go around. Baby.
exactly it's all about connecting with nature. It's all
Yeah.
about connecting with what really matters. It's okay. Go ahead, girl. Take it on, because now that we have traveled to the Victorian world, we have traveled to the hippie world.
We are going to end this on a positive note.
We have literally been traveling all over the place here.
We did travel, y'all.
Even into fantasy world of Game of Thrones. So please.
And Bridgerton.
Yes.
We
Let's
have
not
traveled.
forget Bridgerton.
So let's go ahead and end with a positive note of wisdom.
See.
Here we go.
Take it away.
You do not need to finish the year strong because it's almost 2025.
Yeah.
You could mender through the month. I'm sorry. Again, wine. Savor the slowdown. Nourish yourself with stillness, rest, and pause. If you wanted, you could end the year gently instead.
That's
So
right.
think of who you are.
Mhm.
Think of those that you love.
Yes.
Forgive those that you can't. And just start 2025 on a positive note and let all that heaviness
Drop.
roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that because
I love
even
it.
though even though we're recording this at the end of 2024,
Yes.
we're possibly going to be releasing this at the beginning of 2025, and I think it's ideal because I think there's a lot of pressure
Yes.
that comes with let's plan your next year, what are new goals and all of this stuff. And how about not
How about living your life
day to day
to the fullest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Take one day at a time.
Exactly.
Love each other. Truly love yourself first so you can love each other.
There you go.
And just enjoy 2025 and see what 2025 is going to bring you.
It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
We are so excited.
And granted, 2025, like January 1st is the Gregorian calendar, and me being more astrologically driven and more like spiritually driven, I believe that our actual new year begins in the spring equinox, which is in March. So for me, January 1st really doesn't make sense to me because I've never really like made like New Year's resolutions or anything like that. And it never really resonated for me to like start something like a diet or an exercise regimen or whatever, like on January 1st. But knowing that we are still living in the Gregorian calendar and January 1st is the quote unquote beginning of the new year, I feel like 2025 is just going to be fucking magical.
Explosive.
I really do. I really do. And travel wise, like I said before, I feel like
we have so many plans, y'all.
Yeah, we do. It's exciting.
And we really want to bring you into our circle too,
Yes,
and let you meet some of our friends and just, we hang out with a lot of different people.
Yeah, we
so
do.
next
Different
year,
age
you
groups.
guys
People,
are
yeah.
going to meet
Fantastic.
so many fantastic people.
Yeah.
And we are super excited about this. And we're going to talk about so many things from astrology to,
religion,
and
spirituality,
to
relationship,
more sex.
Yes.
I mean, we're just going to go into so much stuff.
So please keep following us. Listen to our stories.
Make
Follow
comments.
us. Yes. Listen to us on TikTok. We now have a pitch in TikTok.
Hey,
Yeah. We're on IG.
Instagram.
We're on Instagram, IG. We're on YouTube now.
Yes.
So please stick around because trust me, our conversations are fun. They're contagious. We have a lot going on. We have 3 different perspectives, 3 different backgrounds, and we would love to hear you guys. So please comment, Let us know. Share with your friends. Follow us. Important.
Mhm.
And please let us know. What do you think? Well, what is your dream timeline? Where would you like to go back in the day? Share with us. Tell us where.
Opinions.
Mm-mm.
Travel
Just
back in time.
give us your stories so we can share
Yes.
with our audience, and just guys, just come and embrace with us when we tell you that this is real. This is
This is
real.
us. This is
This
who we
is
are.
us. This is an everyday
Unscripted.
thing.
Unscripted.
And if you're crazy enough, maybe you're dreaming about the future.
True.
Maybe you're living in 2050, 100.
And you're coming back.
Yes.
And you're coming back.
Share with us.
Seriously.
Let us know what the world
Hey.
looks like.
And if you're in Georgia and you're near our area, like, come and meet up.
Yeah,
with us
link up
too.
with us.
You know, like, let's talk. Let's have conversations. I mean, we are super open. We're super easy to talk to and super approachable. So
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
So thank you for being with us, Joanna. Those words of wisdom were amazing.
I
This
love it.
is
I
Chat
love
con
it.
Sabor, and this was a fantastic night, ladies.
Adios. Adios.
adios.